Today on Good Morning Maine, protesters gather in opposition of an offshore wind power port on Sears Island.
Plus, a bill seeking to identify unknown human remains passed unanimously in the Health and Human Services Committee.
And we'll meet a local collector of Black history to dive into the diverse history here in the Bangor area. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us. We'll have those stories coming up in just a little bit, along with a lot of high school basketball tourney highlights. We'll let you know the latest coming from down at the Cross Center. But first, to check that forecast, and it looks like we'll see some more clouds moving into the area later on today. Maybe a chance of maybe a little freezing rain this morning.
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit. And a couple of inches of snow tonight in some areas. Not a big storm, but a little snow coming.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Here's here's Conrad Sapinski with that forecast.
Our first weather this morning is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. We offer a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 cash drawing. Stop by with your returnables and enter for a chance to win. And what a mild start to the morning today, right? Look at this. Mid to upper 20s all over the area. Rockland, Waterville in those upper 20s, so not normal for this time of year. We're at 27 here in town, so it is a very, very mild. We do have snow on the ground. It feels like winter, right? Like a winter wonderland, mainly up north. Millinocket area, down by Greenville. That's where they're into those pink and purple colors, indicating well over 6 inches of snow. Now, the last 3 days, take a look at this. We saw lots of sunshine, just a few passing clouds. Today, though, we're starting out the morning with a lot of clouds, but we will continue to see some decrease in clouds. A couple of freezing sprinkles are in the area. Other than that, we are dry, so not much to really talk about, but there is a low pressure system on the way. For today, though, like I said, a couple of morning sprinkles, freezing sprinkles at that, with temperatures below freezing. Other than that, decreasing clouds, temperatures well above average in those mid to upper 30s. For tonight, though, another mild night. We're looking at mid to upper 20s, increasing clouds, and some snow chances will be moving in late. Minor accumulations, more of the accumulations will be up north. For tomorrow, though, rain and snow mix, limiting that snow accumulations in town. Temperatures above freezing up north. That's where we're looking at more of that snow accumulations. Hour by hour, we are talking mid to upper 30s today and a lot of sunshine.
Thank you, Conrad. We'll see you later on with your full forecast. In today's news, after Governor Mills announced Sears Island is selected as the location for an offshore wind power port, protesters took to Belfast in opposition to the project yesterday. Our Doug Banks here's their story.
Along the bridge that crosses Passagassawakeg River in Belfast, members of several organizations, coalitions, and groups gathered in opposition of Governor Mills' Tuesday announcement.
We need to know more about the economic analysis, which has not been released to us.
Those in attendance said they'd rather see this project on the more developed Mac Point, stating it could disturb local ecosystems, specifically coastal wetlands around Sears Island.
The most important things to save on the planet, because they act as sponges and they support the land to survive heavy storms.
Protesters also spoke about an agreement signed by former Governor Baldacci's administration, DOT, and Searsport between 2007 and 2009 about developmental protections concerning the 941-acre state-owned Sears Island. That agreement, called the Sears Island Planning Initiative Steering Committee, states that Mac Point will be given preference to any port development. On that committee 15 years ago was Searsport's current town manager.
Back in that period of time, we weren't looking at offshore wind.
According to Gilway, Mac Point wasn't chosen due to its positioning, impact on the community, and the current infrastructure that would have to be removed. With 2/3 of Sears Island still under state preservation, Gilway says the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management has taken steps to protect the surrounding fishing industry.
Recently, I saw one of their presentations. They said they can never completely eliminate conflict, but they reduce it as much as possible.
Gilway says if approved, the project could be fully operational by 2030. In Searsport, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Authorities made what they described as dangerous drug arrests after a police pursuit ended in Bangor. Penobscot County Sheriff Troy Morton says deputies attempted to stop a vehicle on Littlefield Avenue in Herman around 10:42 Wednesday morning. He says the vehicle failed to stop and led police on a chase along I-95 North before pulling over near the Broadway exit in Bangor. Police seized 142 grams of crack cocaine and 11 grams of fentanyl during the incident. The driver, identified as 27-year-old Jacob Hawks, was arrested and charged with unlawful trafficking in scheduled drugs, eluding an officer, and driving to endanger, and other offenses. 58-year-old Clinton Taylor of Bangor, a passenger in the vehicle, was arrested and charged with unlawful trafficking in scheduled drugs. Sheriff Morton says another passenger, 26-year-old Kayla McCarthy of Lee, was taken to the hospital as a precaution because she allegedly had dangerous drugs inside of her body and was later charged with unlawful trafficking in scheduled drugs and violation of conditional release.
In other news, a lawsuit filed Tuesday against the Bangor YMCA in connection with an abusive coach back in 1979 is now shining light on the pervasive problem of childhood sexual abuse and how best to protect children. We spoke with the attorneys for the abuse survivor who brought the lawsuit, who says his client was sexually abused by a basketball coach working for the Bangor Y in 1979. Wayne Quimby was 13 years old at the time of the abuse, which occurred at the coach's home. He came forward at the time. His abuser was prosecuted and convicted, and the lawsuit alleges that the Bangor Y was negligent in hiring the coach in the first place due to a prior criminal conviction, and that a simple background check at the time would have prompted them to ask questions and not hire the coach at all.
Holding the abusers accountable is important, but also holding their enablers accountable. It's an important part of the healing process for survivors of childhood sex abuse. And it also shines a light on an organization and what it failed to do that we hope will be a signal for other organizations to look at their policies and procedures and implement, what the best practices are.
An attorney representing the Bangor YMCA says the Y takes any allegations of sexual misconduct extremely seriously, especially considering the number of children under their care and supervision. They say they are just starting to dig into the circumstances surrounding the abuse. They also say where the incident occurred is central to their case.
If the incident took place at the YMCA, where the YMCA had supervisory responsibility, oversight responsibility, I think that would be one thing. The fact that the complaint alleges that the incident did not occur on YMCA premises is very relevant.
And it's also important to note that the Maine Supreme Judicial Court is currently considering a case that challenges the constitutionality of the law that lifted the statute of limitations on bringing these types of cases. That outcome could affect this lawsuit.
The Somerset County Grand Jury has indicted 2 people accused of robbing a bank and a convenience store. Waterville police say a local Bangor savings bank was robbed on October 31st, and a Circle K in Fairfield was robbed the next day. 24-year-old Isaac Sterling of Bangor and 25-year-old Trevor Miller were both indicted on 2 counts of robbery and 2 counts of theft by unauthorized taking. A Bingham man with a long history of sex crimes was also indicted. 48-year-old Christopher Cates was arrested in September for crimes involving a child. He's accused of sex crimes involving another child in the town of Moscow earlier this year. The grand jury indicted him on 10 counts, including unlawful sexual contact, indecent conduct, and tampering with a victim. And a Skowhegan man who allegedly ran over a pedestrian in Skowhegan in November was also indicted. 43-year-old Ryan Mann turned himself in following a phone conversation with a deputy. Police had been looking for him since a woman was struck and seriously injured. He was indicted on several counts, including aggravated assault, reckless conduct with a dangerous weapon, and leaving the scene of an accident.
Lawmakers heard about a backlog of cases left over from the pandemic, an ongoing attorney shortage, and the need for technology infrastructure during the State of the Judiciary address yesterday. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bichard has more on the recommendations and a call to action for lawmakers.
A constitutional crisis. That's how the Chief Justice of the Maine Supreme Judicial Court describes the state of judiciary in Maine.
We are in a constitutional crisis, folks. The state is obligated to provide an attorney in most criminal cases. We have people sitting in jail every day. Frequently, there's a dozen or more in Aroostook County alone on any given day without counsel.
Last year, lawmakers raised the hourly wage to $150 an hour for attorneys who contract cases through the Maine Commission on Indigent Legal Services. According to Chief Justice Stanfill, that hasn't solved the problem of attracting attorneys to cases.
For a variety of reasons, I'm not sure I understand them all, the numbers of attorneys willing to take these cases keeps falling.
Chief Justice Stanfill adds that aging infrastructure, both physical and technological, will require millions of dollars in investments to upgrade and maintain. Another problem facing the judiciary is the backlog of court cases filed during the pandemic, when court operations were restricted.
We did our best, but people were distressed, and the backlogs kept getting bigger, and our workforce was trying to solve them, and they couldn't.
While they have made a dent in the backlog, Chief Justice Stanfill says they aren't anywhere close to completing, and some cases may still be years away from being heard.
We have a data person who ran a model. I think he came up with something like 2028, possibly, or something like that. But that's also assuming we're fully staffed, and that's always a challenge as well.
The Chief Justice adds, in order to solve these issues, it'll take the work of all three branches of state government. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
A bill seeking to identify unknown human remains passed unanimously in the Health and Human Services Committee. The bill, LD 838, would allow the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner to test unidentified human remains using genetic genealogy, similar to 23andMe, and ancestry DNA to find close relatives. Currently, DNA can only be processed using the CODIS system, which is a database containing DNA collected when certain crimes are committed. According to testimony from the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, they currently have 20 sets of unidentified human remains in their possession. The bill will now make its way for a full vote of the legislature, where lawmakers say it's likely to pass. All right, the time now is 6:12. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, Waterville officials will take action to prevent the local homeless shelter from closing. We'll have the story.
But first, another check of that weather forecast. It looks like some clouds moving into the area today, maybe some freezing rain this morning with a high near 37 degrees. Tonight, we'll see increasing clouds with lows dropping down to the upper 20s. Little rain and snow likely overnight. Could be a little messy at this time tomorrow. A high of 37 degrees on your Friday. We'll be right back.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Nexium 24-Hour prevents heartburn acid for twice as long as Pepcid. Get all day and all night heartburn acid prevention with just one pill a day. Choose acid prevention. Choose Nexium.
Right now, there's just so much happening in our world. So much at stake at the start of every morning.
Making sense of it all, that's not always so easy.
And that's where we come in.
Good Morning America. We want you to know every morning.
We're right here, and we got you.
Oversharing can be weird.
How you doing, buddy? I'm more excited than a mosquito flying into a nudist colony.
Weekdays at 9 on ABC7.
You signed a written agreement that you would keep her money in a separate escrow account. You did not do that. You put it in your own checking account. So you didn't comply with the terms of the lease.
I'm not a landlord.
That's very clear.
Hot Bench.
Thursday at 3 on ABC7.
A recent Supreme Court decision and subsequent legislation are changing the rights people have in the property foreclosure process. On May 25th, 2023, the Supreme Court issued a landmark ruling stating that if a foreclosed property is sold by a municipality for a larger amount than the debt owed to the municipality, the owner would have to be reimbursed for that difference. After the decision, Maine had to quickly pass legislation in order to be in compliance with the Supreme Court ruling. Lawmakers heard from the Maine Revenue Service, which conducted a study on equity in the property tax foreclosure process. Doesn't look like we have that video clip. Moving on. To read the whole story, you can go to our website, foxbangor.com.
And we'll run it again in the next hour, so don't worry. We'll make sure we get it on there. It's an interesting story. Meanwhile, leaders and residents in the Bucksport community are upset after learning the owner of Bucksport LLC is being given more time to figure out the landfill's future. AIM Development currently owns that landfill. It has not been operational since 2020. The Maine Department of Environmental Protection sent a letter to the company last year saying they must submit a closure plan for the landfill by January 1st. And also outlined a complete closure plan by 2026. Bucksport Town Manager Susan Lassard found out about the extension after checking on the status of the plan and was taken by surprise with what she found.
Supervisors had had a meeting of some kind with Bucksport Mill LLC and had determined that they could have some more time to look at what their options were. That generator-owned facility is not in any way, shape, or form set up to be, or has the capacity to be, any kind of a solid waste landfill.
Town Council meeting on Thursday for the public to comment on that matter.
A Waterville homeless shelter has narrowly avoided closure after facing a high demand for emergency housing. Our David Ledford has more.
The Waterville City Council voted Tuesday to allow the Mid-Maine Homeless Shelter to put $200,000 in American Rescue Plan Act funding towards the cost of running the shelter, instead of the rehousing program the money was originally intended for. The shelter's program director, David Savetsky, says the shelter has to reallocate the money to avoid closing down.
The operating costs of the low barrier shelter have gone up so much that we potentially weren't going to be able to remain open.
The funds were initially awarded to the shelter in 2021 to be used for the master leasing program, which would allow people to be placed in an apartment instead of going to a shelter.
So the master leasing program was going to assist some folks in getting rehoused through the shelter itself renting or leasing the units from the landlords. That's not off the table.
The Mid-Maine Homeless Shelter is a low-barrier shelter, meaning it welcomes anyone in need regardless of their background, 24 hours a day. And Savetsky says the demand for that kind of help has increased over the last few years.
Our lengths of stay have gone essentially through the roof. In 2019, our length of stay was about approximately 35 nights, and now it's probably about 75 nights.
With operating costs now covered, Savetsky says the shelter can remain open for the foreseeable future. However, city officials say they are hoping the shelter will receive more funding from the state.
This is a state funding issue, and I know there are a couple of bills in the legislature. So right now we're waiting for those to kind of come to fruition.
In Waterville, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, the time now 6:18. After the break, February is Black History Month, and we'll catch up with one local man who's on a mission to learn more about his past and reveal some more about the local area while doing so.
Plus, that full weather forecast coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Orono is more than just a college town. It's an affordable destination. Welcome to the Orono Arcade, where we have both modern and retro games. And for a new experience, check out our 9-hole blacklight mini golf course. Budget friendly, fun for the whole family, with 13 restaurants within walking distance. We look forward to seeing you soon at the Orono Arcade.
Winter driving can be hazardous. If you have vehicle damage from an accident, we can make your vehicle run and look like new. Call us now for a free estimate. Broadway Automotive and Collision, 2814 Broadway, Glenburn.
My father worked at the mill for over 30 years. He was exposed to a great community and excelled at his job, but he was also exposed to asbestos. The air quality inside the mill was always his biggest complaint. He had no idea how deadly some of the products and materials were. When he was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew to call Joe Bornstein's office to get my dad the help he needs and the justice he deserves.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
In 10 years, Lisa Schneider will have an amazing second act, thanks to career reskilling courses from AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does. The younger you are, the more you need AARP.
Welcome back, everyone. Since 1970, America has recognized February as Black History Month.
Our Grace Blanchard spoke with a local collector of Black history to dive into the diverse past here in the Bangor area.
There's over 100 years of Black presence in the Bangor area.
What started as a mission to learn more about his past led one Mainer down a deep dive of Black history in Maine.
The logging industry, that's when you started seeing the largest presence of Blacks moving into the area.
Local David Payne says his family has resided in Orrington for decades. After the passing of his grandfather in the 1990s, he has spent the last few decades discovering not only his history, but Black history in the Bangor area.
There's a greater presence of other ethnicities, of course, in the state, but they're definitely an interwoven fabric in the community and have been accepted.
However, in the 1920s, the area was certainly not immune to racial prejudice.
The KKK was here. As a matter of fact, the largest headquarters for the KKK in New England was based in Brewer.
Although he says his family views him as a historian, he considers himself a collector of history and has helped connect the dots for himself and others in the community to their ties to Black history.
If I don't put names on the photos I have, if I don't document what's been told to me, what I've learned is great, but it becomes lost if I don't do something to preserve it.
He hopes this Black History Month to see more young people immersing themselves into their own past to see how history is often weaved together.
I hope the younger generation would ask questions and talk to the older generation. The biggest way we lose history is by not asking.
In Orrington, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
I like that he shows his reading material too. It's good advice for folks who want to learn more on their own.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, there's a whole book written about Black history right in Bangor too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called Black Bangor. It's easy to remember.
Makes sense.
Yeah, if you want to learn more, it's Black History Month. It's a good time to learn more. Okay, the time now is 6:22.
Let's get a full look at our weather forecast.
Good morning. Our Maine weather is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. We offer a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 cash drawing. Stop by with your returnables and enter for a chance to win. And look at this map. Not much going on all over the U.S. besides into Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. There's a little bit of severe weather, right? We're talking severe weather. Is it February or is it already May? Wow, what a unique type of winter. That's just something that we will remember for the rest of our lives. We saw 60s and 70s into Illinois yesterday, so definitely record-breaking heat all over the Midwest and upper Midwest. For us, though, nothing like that. We're actually talking some more snow moving on in by tonight into tomorrow morning. For now, though, we're just seeing some mainly cloudy skies, a couple of freezing sprinkles in the area, mainly staying dry, though, and then we're going to continue to see some decrease in clouds over pretty much throughout the day today, increase in clouds overnight as a little bit more snow moves in really late overnight. Most of that rain will be right by the coast into those morning hours, and then once temperatures start to rise, we're going to see that rain and snow mix into the afternoon hours on Friday, but just north of town. You see that line right here, just north of town, so north of Dover-Foxcroft. So Dover-Foxcroft is included in mainly snow throughout the day on Friday, and then north of that is where we're really looking at those accumulations with those temperatures staying below freezing and some places sticking around near freezing or slightly above that. So this will be a wet, thick snow. And snowfall accumulations, we're looking at anywhere around ½ inch to an inch of snow here in town. And then we're looking at that rain and snow mix washing most of that snow away. This is slightly underdoing it right by the coast. We are looking at a trace, maybe a little bit more before we see that rain and snow mix. Greenville, though, 1 to 3 inches. Millinocket area, 1 to 3 as well. That 1 inch is slightly underdoing feeling it in the Millinocket area. Now, winds are pretty light, anywhere around 5 miles per hour all over the region, so we are pretty good on that end. Now, temperature-wise, though, we're going to be above average the next couple of days. Saturday and Sunday, a little bit cooler, and then right back up. Check this out. 40s and 50s will be back. For today, though, morning sprinkles. Other than that, we're going to see decreasing clouds. Temperatures mid to upper 30s. Tonight, though, mid to upper 20s, increasing clouds. A little bit of snow will be moving on in late. Our extended forecast outlook does show rain and snow on Friday, and then we're really cold Saturday into Sunday. Warm up by Monday.
Renovating or building new, you'll find a wide selection of high-performing, energy-efficient, and beautiful windows and doors at Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales representative will walk you through the showroom displays and help you choose options to create a personalized custom look. Free in-home measurement is available, and Hammond can deliver your order from any of their locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Bring your vision and enjoy better light and added security and energy savings with quality windows and doors from Hammond Lumber Company.
I got hurt in a car accident. Give me one good reason why I should call the twos.
How about 3 great reasons you should call us? 1, we make it easy. You can hire us right from your phone and you never have to leave your house. 2, it's fast. Read the result. Just listen to this.
Lowry and Associates got me $195,000.
Call the twos. We win for you.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do you do? Call 222-2222.
Hey, women of Maine. Let's talk. When was the last time you or mom had a mammogram? Wondering when to get a pap smear? Want to see someone who actually listens? Every women's health question matters, so start the conversation with friends and with us. We're here to answer all of your real, honest questions, even the ones that are tough to ask, because every part of your health matters. Northern Light Health, how are you?
Whether you can pinpoint the problem or can't quite put your finger on it, the friendly professionals from Coastal Auto Parts can help point you in the right direction. With Maine's largest network of parts, you can trust your vehicle will have what it needs to get you to the moments that matter most. Because Napa knows the keys to a winning team. And with 29 locations in Maine, Coastal Auto Parts helps keep our communities running. Team up together with the fuel that keeps us firing on all cylinders. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Now to a possible new crackdown on the southern border. Migrant crosses are down in recent weeks, which is typical in the winter months. But there's concern about a spring surge. And now there's word that President Biden could be ready to place new restrictions on asylum seekers. State and local officials from Texas to Colorado to New York have been pleading with the White House for help addressing the issue. ABC's Lionel Moyes on what could be changing.
This morning, President Biden is considering what's being described as major new action on the border, as more voters in this election year list the migrant crisis among their top concerns. A White House official confirms the potential executive action from the president would place new restrictions on asylum seekers.
One possibility would be to bar migrants from seeking asylum if they cross between U.S. ports of entry. Now, he is considering, I am told, a wide range of options. This is just a possibility. No final decisions have been made.
Asylum seekers could be required to prove they need to remain in the U.S. for reasons such as a medical emergency or fear of torture in their home country. The new action, if taken by the president, could put him at odds with his own party. Some Democrats compare such a crackdown to Trump-era policies. But critics say the influx of migrants, which includes a growing number of people from China and other countries, poses a national security risk. Meanwhile, in Texas, where resources are stretched thin, new legal action. The state's attorney general is now suing the Catholic nonprofit Annunciation House, which shelters migrants in El Paso, accusing the organization of human smuggling. Annunciation House says it's helped hundreds of thousands of refugees over the last 4 decades, saying if the work that Annunciation House conducts is illegal, so too is the work of our local hospitals, schools, and food banks.
It is a national issue, and it should be dealt with as a national issue and not just simply your border communities.
As for President Biden and any possible new action, the White House says there won't be any true reform until there's action from Congress. And House Republicans recently killed a bipartisan border security deal. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
President Biden on the West Coast on Wednesday. The president speaking in Culver City one day after attending a private fundraiser in the area, also announcing that his administration has approved student debt cancellation to the tune of $1.2 billion for almost 153,000 borrowers.
So if you qualify, you'll be hearing from me shortly. Thousands of people per month are eligible, about 25,000 a month. Every 2 months will be paid on a 50,000 basis, but are eligible for relief, and they'll get a letter from me letting them know they're qualified. And when they get that letter, your debt's going to be forgiven.
The trip is Biden's first to Southern California since early December, when they spent 2 days attending fundraising events.
The United Nations highest court holds hearings on the legality of Israel's policy in the occupied territories. Yesterday was day 3 of the proceedings at the International Court of Justice at The Hague. Palestinians argue Israel's military occupation has violated the prohibition on territorial conquest and imposed a system of racial discrimination and apartheid. It comes a day after the U.S. vetoed a UN resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza for the 3rd time. All right, coming up on the second half of the newscast, a boat used by former President George H.W. Bush on the coast of Maine has been sold.
We'll check that out and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
R&K Variety is more than just a convenience store. With delicious homemade food made fresh daily, we offer hearty meals that don't break the bank. Whether it be our delicious chicken pot pie, one of our many savory soups, or a pizza, you can't go wrong at R&K Variety. Looking for a drink after a long workday? R&K Variety is an agency liquor store with an impressive selection. R&K Variety, more than just a convenience store. We're your neighbor, chef, barista, and friend. Stop by today.
Harris Lumber is locally owned and has been serving the Pequot region for more than 50 years. See them for all your projects, big or small. Customer service is their #1 priority. And with a full line of lumber and hardware items, they can also deliver to your job site. Harris Lumber, Milo.
Nexium 24-Hour prevents heartburn acid for twice as long as Pepcid. Get all day and all night heartburn acid prevention with just 1 pill a day. Choose acid prevention. Choose Nexium.
Your local professional, eco-friendly office space partner is Levesque Business Solutions, your one-stop shop to get the job done. Handling all your office furniture and printing machine needs at an affordable price. Offering full system integration into your workplace and local service on everything we sell. We can even remote monitor your system with just-in-time inventory and service need assessments. Little to no downtime gives you peace of mind. At Levesque Business Solutions, your solution is only an email or a phone call away.
Good luck to all the area basketball teams in the tournament from Color Concepts, 840 Hammond Street, Bangor. Congratulations to the Hamden boys and girls basketball teams on a fantastic season from R&K Variety. Hamlin's Marine wants to wish the best of luck to all the teams that worked so hard to make it to the tournament this year.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Thursday, February 22nd, 2024, and it is also National Chili Day.
Yum. I made a chili recently.
I love chili.
It's believed that immigrants from the Canary Islands introduced chili after settling in San Antonio. It has since become a real crowd pleaser with family chili recipes guarded like crown jewels. Its top 5 most popular toppings for chili include cheese, crackers, cornbread, sour cream, or tortilla chips. I love it with Fritos on top.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That's kind of what I do. I put a little cheese on there, maybe a little dollop of sour cream in the middle, and then some Fritos on top of it.
Do you make yours with beans?
With beans. I'm a beans guy.
Me too.
You know, some people debate if they say if it has beans, it's not real chili.
Like a real Texas chili.
Yeah, that's hogwash.
Yeah.
But
plenty of real Texan chilies have beans in them.
I think that's also the first time in my life I've said hogwash. So I don't know what that means.
I feel like it was a perfect time to use it.
It was good. That's hogwash. All right, let's get to some history. On this day in history, back in 1630, a long time ago, English colonists in the Massachusetts Bay community sampled popcorn for the first time after it was brought to them by a Native American for their Thanksgiving celebration. And I didn't know popcorn went back that far.
Yeah.
In 1879, the first artificial ice rink opened in Madison Square Garden in New York. In 1924, President Calvin Coolidge delivered the very first presidential radio address from the White House. People could actually hear the president's voice for the first time. In 1935, it became illegal to fly airplanes, not play airplanes. Let's play airplanes. Fly airplanes over the White House because they were disturbing the president's sleep. President Roosevelt said he couldn't get any sleep. I thought it might be for security reasons, as it is now, but no, they were waking him up.
Yeah.
And in 1959, the first Daytona 500 race was held.
In 1967, the Beatles released their album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which went on to be one of the most influential and critically acclaimed albums of all time. In 1980, the Miracle on Ice happened during the Winter Games in Lake Placid when the U.S. hockey team beat the heavily favored Soviet Union team. The U.S. team went on to win the gold medal. In 1997, scientists in Scotland announced they were successful in cloning an adult mammal. It was a lamb named Dolly, and she lived for 6 years. In 2010, a copy of Action Comic #1 sold at auction for $1 million and featured the introduction of Superman.
I think that comic maybe sold for a dime or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And it sold for $1 million.
Yep, I believe it. Today's birthdays include former Celtics basketball player Rajon Rondo, who's 38. Comedian Rachel Dratch is 58. Oh, she's one of those that I don't know the name of, but she's hilarious.
Right, yeah, she was on Saturday Night Live for years.
Yeah, she's extremely expressive. Yeah. Actress and talk show host Drew Barrymore is 49.
Happy birthday to all of them. Looks like kind of a shaky day today. No big problems today as far as the weather's concerned, but we will get a little bit of snow overnight.
All right, here's Conrad Sapinski with that forecast.
Our first weather this morning is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. We offer a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 cash drawing. Stop by with your returnables and enter for a chance to win. And what a mild start to the morning today, right? Look at this. Mid to upper 20s all over the area. Rockland, Waterville in those upper 20s, so not normal for this time of year. We're at 27 here in town, so it is a very, very mild. We do have snow on the ground. It feels like winter, right? Go winter wonderland, mainly up north. Millinocket area, down by Greenville. That's where they're into those pink and purple colors, indicating well over 6 inches of snow. Now, the last 3 days, take a look at this. We saw lots of sunshine, just a few passing clouds. Today, though, we're starting out the morning with a lot of clouds, but we will continue to see some decrease in clouds. A couple of freezing sprinkles are in the area. Other than that, we are dry, so not much to really talk about, but there is a low pressure system on the way. For today, though, like I said, a couple of morning sprinkles, freezing sprinkles at that, with temperatures below freezing. Other than that, decreasing clouds, temperatures well above average in those mid to upper 30s. For tonight, though, another mild night. We're looking at mid to upper 20s, increasing clouds, and some snow chances will be moving in late. Minor accumulations, more of the accumulations will be up north. For tomorrow, though, rain and snow mix, limiting that snow accumulations in town. Temperatures above freezing up north. That's where we're looking at more of that snow accumulations. Hour by hour, we are talking mid to upper 30s today and a lot of sunshine.
Thank you, Conrad. And Craig's going to scroll for me.
There you go.
There we go. Or do we not have anything in here?
No,
we
that's
don't?
it.
Okay.
We got so much sports to tell people about.
We do have a lot of
you know?
sports, yeah, which a lot of folks are looking forward to. So, hey, right after the break, Tyler Cruz will have all the latest for that basketball tourney coverage.
You couldn't ask for a better group of people when you're working at a credit union.
When I first started out, everyone was super welcoming.
There's a lot of focus with the community.
It builds a really rewarding professional career. It's just a wonderful place to work.
The
Furniture Gallery's President's Day celebration is on. Your choice of 3 colors, this Ashley recliner, just $2.99. Host dinners in style with a new 5-piece dining set, only $3.99. Get comfortable with a new sofa starting at $4.49. Or upgrade to a spacious sofa chaise for just $5.99. All full-price Ashley bedroom furniture, still 10% off. And save up to 70% off clearance items. Hurry in while it lasts and save big. Shop local, save money at the Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A new car? A new home? Or what about that vacation you know you deserve? Why spend more when you could spend less? Maine credit unions offer lower loan rates and bigger savings. Find your credit union at mainecreditunions.org.
Hi, Eastern Maine. Watch Person, Place, or Thing right here on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 10 a.m.
Welcome in to Fast Break Tournament Edition, brought to you by Dorsey Furniture and Coastal Auto Parts, your local Napa Auto Parts dealer.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. This is Fast Break Extended, brought to you by Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture. We had a busy day of semifinals matchups. Class B was the first one to kick us off, so we will start with the boys. It's a 10 a.m. start for us, and that first one was a game to get up for. It was a thriller. MDI taking on Old Town for a trip to the finals on the line. First half, Spencer Lorendo with it. Gets to his spot in the mid-range, pulls up, and sinks the straight-away jumper. This game was tied. Old Town was up 2 at the half. To the second, Aiden Gom gets inside, floats it up, gets it to go. But MDI would battle back. Jay Haney gets it inside and gets it to go off the glass. We were tied heading into the fourth. Trojans again, loose ball to Old Town. Goes all the way down to Grayson Tebow, who finishes a 14-0 run for the Coyotes to start the fourth quarter. They win it 49-42.
Well, first time in, I think, 10 years, so just happy to be here. With baseball, we all knew what we were getting into. Basketball, first time in, I think, 10 years, so just happy to be here.
All right, I'd be happy too. A rematch of the previous Northern Maine finals was the next one. The 1-seed Ellsworth taking on Orono. Second quarter, Ellsworth with it. Miles Palmer gets it to Chance Mercier. He drives right into the defense and gets it to go off the glass. Nice finish there from Chance. Now check this out from Mason Kenny from Pierce Walston. Shoots it from NBA range and then some and drains it at the buzzer. Definitely worth the celebration there. Second half, Ellsworth trying to pull back into it. Mercier with a 3. Gets that one to go, but the Riots would really control this game the whole way through. Virgin Soderberg drains the triple from the wing. Orono heads to their third straight title. They win 53-38.
That's amazing to know we have at least one more game to go. We've been playing with these guys all the way up through, and we've been playing against those guys all the way up through. So to have another matchup with them like that, it really was a fun game.
All right, let's move on to the girls' Class B semis now. First on the docket, the MDI Trojans. They're trying to knock off the Old Town Coyotes. You heard that one before. Third quarter, MDI with it. Lexi Tozier running the break. Look at this fake. Gets around the defender, kisses it off the glass for 2. MDI was in the lead. Third quarter still. Here comes Michaela Emerson. She's going to pull it from 3, getting it from Sage Evans, and that is good. That ties the game at 27. MDI down 1 now. Look at Molly Gray skipping to the lane, throwing it up with the left. Gets it to go. Trojans lead by 1. 30 seconds to play after tying it with a free throw. Check out Michaela Emerson. She gets the layup to fall with the left. There was less than 2 seconds left when she did it. Old Town wins 37-35 on the game-winning shot.
Everyone cleared out, so I just took it to the hole. It means a lot. It's a lot of our senior years, so we're just really excited. Finally, revenge.
All right, let's find out who Old Town will play. It's the 4-seed Caribou Vikings or the top-seeded Ellsworth Eagles. Here come the Vikings coming out hot. Madeline Morrow tosses it over to Ainsley Karen. Back to Morrow. Under the bucket, she gets it for 2. Now Ellsworth. Lily Bean inbounds it to Megan Jordan. Gets it back to Bean for the open J. Cashes in on that one. Second half, Caribou fighting to stay alive. Madeline Depre misses, gets her own rebound, puts it back for 2. Patting the stats there. Fourth quarter, Bowles with the ball, dishes to Jordan, slings it to Bean, passes it to Sargent, finds a wide open Addison Atherton. Ellsworth, a huge win. They advance 64-44.
Just picking each other up and just making shots and getting the extra pass. We have been working on it in practice to have the extra pass and hitting the extra open person.
All right, so now those Class B regional finals are set for the girls. It's a rematch. Ellsworth and Old Town, they will battle at 7:45 on Friday night. And for the boys, the regional rivalry, Orono and Old Town, they will battle at 6 o'clock for trip to the gold ball game. All right, time for the night session. Class D semis getting underway on Wednesday as well. The first one is a rematch of last year's semis. Who is going to punch our first ticket to the Class D North Finals? Bangor Christian. They're trying to knock off the 2-time defending state champs from Southern Aroostook. Aroostook has it. Dylan Burpee to Lincoln Hardaway. His straightaway 3 is good. Patriots now. You just can't leave that man Jalen Reed all alone like that. Makes him pay. Steps in and knocks down a 3 of his own. Fourth quarter now. Things are getting interesting. Dylan Burpee gets the steal here. Couple of dribbles down court, and he gets it to go. Tough shot there. That brings them within 2, but check out Elliot Strawbell from his brother, Conrad. He nails the dagger 3. He lets everyone know what's in his veins, too. It's ice, ladies and gentlemen. Patriots win 40-33.
As I said, it's been a roller coaster individual season for me. I really haven't figured myself out until these last 6 to 8 games. It's great. It felt really good.
All right, now, who will play the Patriots? Will Skank keep that perfect season alive, or does Katahdin have some upset magic in them? First quarter, Mason McDonough gets baseline, pull up, mid-range, rattles home. Here comes Katahdin now. Skank moving it around, but look at Calvin Richardson jumping right into that passing lane, and he goes coast to coast for the lay-in. But this one was all Wolverines. Sam Jacobs with the takeaway here. Check out this finish, the Euro step. The English beats his man for 2, and then here come the Wolverines again right before the half. This is going to be Braden Osborne. Gets to his spot, pulls up, buries it at the horn. Wolverines win 50-42. So that sets up a regional final matchup between Skank and Bangor Christian. That one will be played on Saturday. All right, let's move on now, and we will check out the Class A semifinals. These all happening down in Augusta. Let's go to the first semifinal of the day, the girls semifinal. 2-seed Hamden Academy playing 3-seed Coney. Late in the first, Hamden's Aubrey Shaw kicks it out to Lauren Voter for the straight-on 3. She drills it. Broncos were up 5 after 1. Second quarter, Coney's Morgan Cunningham swings it to Macy Freeman for the corner 3. That one drops. Coney still trails at the half. Third quarter, Hamden freshman Eve Wiles gets a screen from Voter, pulls from the top of the key. She joins in on the 3 party. Then here comes Coney's Abby Morrill on the steal. Freeman over to Callie Barajas for the mid-range. Gets it to go. Coney goes on a late run. They win 52-40.
Some of us have been dreaming about going to a regional final for Coney for a long time, and we haven't done it in a very long time, so we're super proud that it could be our team.
And who will face the Rams in the regional final? Either the top seed and defending champs Lawrence, 4-seed Camden Hills. First quarter, Lawrence's Maddie Provost inbounds to Lily Gray. She gets it right back to Provost on the wing for 3. Later on, Camden's Kirsten Jones driving inside. Got fouled, throws it up, and it drops. What a play from Jones. Third quarter now, Camden's Tia Lauka kicks out to Leah Jones from the left wing. She buries a 3 of her own. But Lawrence just too much in this one. Ashley Shore's 3-pointer won't go. Look at Lily Gray with the second chance points. Lawrence back to the final, 60-45.
We're playing as a team, and just all of us together combined is just really good. We've worked really, really hard for this, and I just hope we can pull it out.
All right, now to the first boys A semifinal of the day. It's 2-seeded Mount Blue against 3-seed Messalonsky. First quarter, Mount Blue's Evan Sterling driving to the hole. Can't get it to go. A little tip will do the trick. Meso, though, they started hot. Jacob Moody over to Ryan Parent from NBA range. He drills it. He had 13 on the day, all threes, plus a 4-point play. Later on, Mount Blue's Evan Sterling goes inside, out to Charlie Stevens for 3. That one goes home. Meso was up 26-9 after 2, and to the fourth quarter, they still lead. Merrick Smith to Ty Bernier, back to Smith and the slam. Messalonsky to the regional final. They win 45-36.
I think it'll be fun. It'll just, depending on who we play, depending on how we practice and stuff, so we'll see who wins tonight.
All right, should be fun. Great segue into that. Let's see who fills out that final. It's the number 1 seed, Hamden, up against the 5 seed, Camden Hills. Second quarter, Camden's Evan Kimball on the break. Look at this play from Will Duke. He gets whacked, goes out of bounds, somehow drops it in. To the fourth quarter we go. Just a 7-point game. Hamden's J.J. Wolfington down to Liam Hennigan. Nice pump at the basket. He gets the 2 to go. Later, it's Kimball knifing his way through the Broncos defense to the hole. Nice nifty move right there on the layup. But Hamden was too much. Here's Sawyer Worcester to Hennigan, to Wolfington. A bang, bang, bang play leads to 2 points. That fast pace pays off. Hamden wins 64-48.
Feels great, you know. It took a lot of hard work, not just this week, but the whole winter leading up to this, and now it's just finally test time.
And Lawrence and Coney will play for the girls' finals, and for the boys, it's going to be Hamden Academy, and that will be Messalonsky. All right, that is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
You're stepping inside from a romp in the snow with the kids. Time to take the chill off with a cup of hot chocolate and a push of a button on a Fujitsu heat pump from Valley Home Services. Skip the worry of heating bills and call or visit valleymaine.com today to start saving.
Great Scott! This is Green Bear 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota Equipment. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience, with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
The new Efficiency Main heat pump rebates are here, and they're huge. Based on income, save from $4,000 to $11,100. And when combined with the new tax credits, the savings are bigger than ever, and Valley gives you your rebate instantly. Call Valley Home Services now for your new Fujitsu heat pump.
Welcome back. Let's send it back on over to Conrad for another look at our weather forecast.
Good morning. Our main weather is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. We offer a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 cash drawing. Stop by with your returnables and enter for a chance to win. And look at this map. Not much going on all over the U.S. besides into Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. There is a little bit of severe weather, right? We're talking severe weather. Is it February or is it already May? Wow, what a unique type of winter. That's just something that we will remember for the rest of our lives. We saw 60s and 70s into Illinois yesterday, so definitely record-breaking heat all over the Midwest and upper Midwest. For us, though, nothing like that. We're actually talking some more snow moving on in by tonight into tomorrow morning. For now, though, we're just seeing some mainly cloudy skies, a couple of freezing sprinkles in the area, mainly staying dry, though, and then we're going to continue to see some decrease in clouds over pretty much throughout the day today, increase in clouds overnight as a little bit more snow moves in really late overnight. Most of that rain will be right by the coast into those morning hours. And then once temperatures start to rise, we're going to see that rain and snow mix into the afternoon hours on Friday, but just north of town. You see that line right here? Just north of town. So north of Dover-Foxcroft. So Dover-Foxcroft is included in mainly snow throughout the day on Friday. And then north of that is where we're really looking at those accumulations with those temperatures staying below freezing, and some places sticking around near freezing or slightly above that. So this will be a wet, thick snow. And snowfall accumulations, we're looking at anywhere around ½ an inch to an inch of snow here in town. And then we're looking at that rain and snow mix washing most of that snow away. This is slightly underdoing it right by the coast. We are looking at a trace, maybe a little bit more before we see that rain and snow mix. Greenville, though, 1 to 3 inches. Millinocket area, 1 to 3 as well. That 1 inch is slightly underdoing it in the Millinocket area. Now, winds are pretty light, anywhere around 5 miles per hour all over the region, so we are pretty good on that end. Now, temperature-wise, though, we're going to be above average the next couple of days. Saturday and Sunday, a little bit cooler, and then right back up. Check this out. 40s and 50s will be back. For today, though, morning sprinkles. Other than that, we're going to see decreasing clouds. Temperatures mid to upper 30s. Tonight, though, mid to upper 20s, increasing clouds. A little bit of snow will be moving on in late. Our extended forecast outlook does show rain and snow on Friday, and then we're really cold Saturday into Sunday. Warm up by Monday.
Welcome to the Orono Arcade, your local, affordable destination. We want to provide you with the best experience we can without costing a small fortune. Our ever-popular 9-hole blacklight mini golf course is a huge attraction. Plus, we have the best arcade video games to choose from, including both modern and retro games. We have weeknight specials consisting of... We look forward to seeing you soon at the Orono Arcade.
Nexium 24-Hour prevents heartburn acid for twice as long as Pepcid. Get all day and all night heartburn acid prevention with just 1 pill a day. Choose acid prevention. Choose Nexium.
The hot, crispy filet of fish with soft steamed buns, tender, flaky fish, melty cheese, and tangy tartar sauce. You either love it or you haven't tried it yet.
Now at McDonald's, order a crispy, delicious Filet-O-Fish, a tender, juicy McCrispy or spicy McCrispy, 2 for only $6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I had a slip and fall accident. I wasn't sure what to do. Joe Bornstein's office handled everything. The experience was much better than what I expected. They were very professional and responsive to all my questions and concerns. I highly recommend the law offices of Joe Bornstein. Over 25,000 victories for injured Mainers just like me. If you've been injured in an accident, call Joe. It's that easy. Tell him you mean business.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Life is a whirlwind. I wish I could swim. When there's disaster to deal with, who are we?
911, what's your emergency? Help is on the way.
A boat used by President George H.W. Bush to cruise along the coast of Maine has been sold at auction. The 38-foot Fidelity 5 sold to an anonymous buyer for $435,000 during an auction week last week in Houston. The boat has 3 engines and can reach speeds of up to 75 miles per hour. It was used by President Bush and his family during their time along the coast in Kennebunkport. The money raised will benefit the George Bush Library and Museum and the Bush School of Government and Public Service.
Bet that could pull a tuba pretty fast.
Yeah, right. It's a beautiful boat.
Have a great day, folks.